All right, welcome back, Wayward Souls, to the Double Tap In, episode 110. And if you paid attention to the end of last show, then you know what this show is about. And if you can read, you know what this show is about. So,
it's somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe it's down there.
Down there. We don't know. But prime rib reloaded. We've talked a lot, I feel like, about prime rib.
Mm-hmm.
One, because one, because it's fantastic. Two, because it's another one of those cuts of meat that you're going to pay a lot of money for, but it's not that hard. It really isn't. And like I said, it's fantastic. It's expensive, so it's intimidating, and it's easy. Like it really is.
Once you just do it.
Yeah, whether it's a bone-in, deboned, whatever it is, like it's not as complicated as people think it is. So before we get into the revelation that we found, how do you do your prime rib?
Normally it's the cast iron and throw it in the oven.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before. I'm not huge on smoking one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but one of the best ones we had were the ones that we deep fried.
I was hoping you were going to mention that.
Yeah, it's again, it started as a novelty kind of deal. Dude in his bib overalls with a prime rib on a pitchfork, and he dunks it in oil. And like, okay, what the fuck, And then between Rob Price, Dale, and I, it all became, all right, challenge accepted, motherfucker. We're going to give this a whirl.
Yeah.
And it was worth the process. It was worth the money. It was decent. And then I think I mentioned it before. We turned around and made a beef soup out of the bones. And oh my God, it was just freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah. Big fan. Yeah. Big fan of prime rib anyway, but
yeah. How are you going by like weight and time for your temperature when you deep fry it? Or do you have a probe in it? I was going to say, you probably can't put a probe in it.
We did time and temperature. And I don't remember Dale when we talked about it before, he sent me a text that it was this for this long.
Okay.
And I said, okay. So I was a little off on what it was. I think I said 7 and it was 9, or 9 and it was 7, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I don't remember having a thermometer in it, which would have helped us on the second cook, because the second time we didn't allow it to come to room temperature before we dunked it.
Yeah.
And it took considerably longer the second time, or would have taken considerably longer, but we pulled it at the normal time and sliced it, and we ended up having to, I don't know if we grilled some of it to get it to where the girls would eat it or whatnot. But either way, it wasn't wasn't as good. Flavor was great, but the cooking process was a little off the second time that we did it. Mm-hmm. Lessons learned.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the oven roasted. So it's 5 minutes per pound or 5 minutes per bone at like 450, 500, something like that. And then you cut it off. Let it go. You've got a probe in it so you can watch that internal meat, that internal temperature. And you cook it to wherever you want it. And if you cook it to anything over like 135, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
Really over 130.
Yeah. And because it's going to rest up. That big piece of meat is just going to rest.
Yeah.
And go up a little bit. Do you sear yours first?
I haven't. No.
Because when you're going in that hot in the oven, you really don't need to.
Yeah. I like to marinate mine in red wine. I love the flavor that wine imparts to the meat, and then a compound butter and some. I use the Traeger prime rib rub on top and let it go.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. The great thing about those cooking techniques, right, is if somebody wants it a little more well done, you've got the ends that you can slice off and they're more well done. And if you want somebody that wants something a little bit rarer, you've got the inside, and it's perfect. The problem that you run into is just the way that the muscles are configured, is that you get that real tender. I don't even know what the muscle group is, but it's real tender. Yeah. It's real fatty. That little ribbon around the outside of the eye of that steak that gets cooked to hell and back. Yep. Until now. And now, we watched. I saw this reel. I sent it to the guys on one of the group chats, and it's like, again, it's one of those light bulb moments, a mind blowing moment where you're like, holy shit, this is fantastic.
Yep.
So what this guy does.
And why aren't we smart enough to think of doing that? It kills me every time I see somebody do something like that and go, wow.
I'm not even smart enough to answer that question.
Yeah, me either. I just shake my fucking head.
Yeah. So this guy did a side-by-side comparison, cooks it the traditional way, and you have the option to kind of butterfly the bones, season in there, and then tie it back together, or just leave it all as one piece of meat and in the oven for like that 5 minutes a pound at 450, and then drop it down to 325 or something like that. To like that just kind of accelerates your cook. You're still pulling it at the internal temperature. This guy on the other one, he takes the bones, cuts them off completely, seasons the whole roast.
Yep.
And then he takes the bone and puts it as a cover on that little liner, or that little delicious part of meat muscle, as like a protection for that. Ties it on there with some butcher twine, cooks it, and at the end, he's cutting the traditional one, and you see that the beautiful center, and then the outside is cooked. On the other one, it's all perfect.
It's all the same.
Holy cow.
Yep. The traditional way that he did it, when you look at it, there is a definite color change between that tender section that goes around and the eye of the roast.
Mm-hmm.
This is dark, where you can tell that it is definitely a different temperature than the eye portion. Definitely, this is much darker. That the center looks more like what you're used to seeing, and then you compare it to the one where he put the cap on it.
Mm. It's amazing,
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's all one color. It looks perfect. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I have a huge prime rib. It's probably 7 or 8 pounds. It was one of those, like, the prime ribs on sale for $5 a pound. My neighbor across the street told me about it. I rush off to Acme to get it. I'm picking through. There's probably 5 or 6 prime ribs there. Picking through. I look up, and I had some already in there. I didn't need one. I just wanted a small one because it's that price, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the little ones looked like shit. The middle ones looked like shit. The only one that I liked the way that it looked was the biggest motherfucker in there.
Yep.
So I bought,
sometimes.
I want to say it was like a 7-pound prime rib because it was $35.
But still,
it's a 7-pound prime rib for $35.
Exactly right.
Yeah, you can go buy 2 thick cut prime rib steaks for $35, and it's still not 7 pounds.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah. You could get one of those cowboy steaks for $35.
Yeah.
And it's not 7 pounds.
That's right. That you'd be lucky if it's half that. Yeah.
Right. Right. So when it's time to pull that puppy out and cook that, like that is absolutely what is going to happen.
Yep.
So I'm excited. And the reaction of the people in the group that, between Dale and Noah and Murray and you, like it's the same. It's like the mind blowing, like, holy cow.
Yep.
So
damn it.
Yeah. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. I would imagine it's going to be. I'm expecting similar results because why not? It makes perfect sense.
Yep. Yeah. And then you get rid of the disappointment when you see the two different colors of the piece of meat. They're all going to be one color. It's all going to be delicious. I already know it.
Yeah.
Just based on what he did. We see a lot of shit. We share a lot of shit back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is really outrageous.
Oh yeah.
And then we get a nugget like that going, okay, this is legit. This isn't just for likes and views and clicks and all this shit,
Yeah.
The dude with the Nutter Butter the other day with the chocolate wrapped in bacon. I just.
It again, like we said in the group. So it was a Nutter Butter with a piece of chocolate, a sliced banana wrapped in bacon.
Yep.
And then you smoked it and took it out when the bacon was cooked. And it's probably good.
Yeah.
Dale makes a great point, and he even puts it in there like a little disclaimer. He said, I don't mean to be a bad guy or unpopular opinion, whatever he said. Bacon doesn't make everything better. And it's true.
Yep.
Like that Nutter Butter, the chocolate, the peanut butter, or the banana is going to be just as good, probably better, without wrapping it in the bacon. And I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So when I see something like that, my fucked up head goes right to where does the grease go? Yeah, he put it on a wire rack, but that bacon is still going to render. And where does that grease go?
It's going to
go right into that freaking cookie.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's just not appealing to me.
No, because it still will dry it out. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not.
No, thanks.
No.
Your peanut butter is going to get dry. Like
the chocolate's going to run out. It's just going to make a mess.
No, thanks.
No, not about it.
Yeah.
So again, there's a difference between people doing shit on social media for likes and clicks and people doing shit to actually be productive and have something decent. And that prime rib shit is
legit.
Yeah. You look at it and go, fuck.
Yeah.
Shit simple again, but it just never crossed my radar to even think about doing something like that.
Yeah.
And we know that it's going to turn color. We know that one piece is going to turn color and, be overcooked or more cooked than what the center is. So, fuck.
Yeah. I'm going to have to find it again so I can have, when it does come out, I can put it in the comments. And Dale, you're going to have to remind me again. I appreciate that the last time because I did the Old Bay biscuits. After I found it, did I tell you about that? Me being a dumbass. Like I get Dale's text. I'm like, oh yeah, it's in this account that I follow. It's not in that account. I'm looking all over this woman's website and her Instagram account, all over her social media. It's the wrong fucking lady.
It happens.
Yeah.
Happens to me every day, pretty much.
Right. But yeah, so I have to go find it. I think as the administrators on the group, we can schedule posts. So when this is all said and done, like I can figure out when this
is going to air, and then you can add that to the group to post when it goes live. That's a hell of an idea.
Yeah, I have to mess with it. So,
And speaking of my shirt, I'm really jonesing for a trip to the OBX.
I can't tell you the last time we were there.
And the folks, if you can't tell, Biscuits and Porn, yes, it's a real place in the Outer Banks, and yes, they have really good biscuits. Can't speak for their porn, but I can speak for their biscuits. They're fucking next level. They're great. But we haven't been since normally we go in October, and we didn't go this past October because of my shoulder surgery. So when we go, it'll have been a year since I've been to the OBX, and typically we go 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
I thought you make a trip in the spring too.
We do, yep.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that this year. We had other stuff scheduled and all that, so we haven't done. We usually go around St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
usually St. Patrick's Day weekend is when we go. And just didn't do it this year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, somebody bought a boat.
Charles needed a boat.
Yes, he did apparently.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on the mail to arrive today, which we know that's going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I ordered ice fishing flotation suits, or a suit. And I've wanted one. I wanted to try one because, sometimes I've broken ice, to go fishing out in the Pocomoke River, the Tangier Sound side. Broken ice to go fishing out there. And I don't like being cold anymore. So they're being delivered today. One set is being delivered today. And it's more of a size check to see if it's going to fit me or fit Jennifer or fit us both.
Or fit it, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
That's a level of outdoor activity that I'm not hip to. Sorry, not happening. Yesterday, we talked about this in one of the previous shows, or maybe it was in between shows. Outside on my feet all day yesterday for work. Come home, Harper chases me around with a squirt gun. Now it's like 45, 50 degrees. It's chilly and it's windy.
Yeah.
And
the real feel was 26 yesterday.
Yeah. She's chasing me around with a squirt gun, which is absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
And she's screaming, "Mommy, get the bubble gun." She's got this, it looks like a little Gatling gun.
Yep.
And it just shoots all these bubbles. Her plan was that she was going to get me with the squirt gun, and then Mommy was going to get me with the bubble gun. And that's how it was going to go. But she's chasing me around, yelling at Mommy. And finally we get that subdued. I've now got little man. We're playing in the back. Oh my.
Bubble gun.
Where did you get that from? I'm going to need you to send that to me.
I don't know where Jennifer got it, but we got it for Sophie for here at the house. And there's no bubble juice in it, but yes, it is freaking phenomenal. Love this thing. It's even got weapon lights.
I'm on Temu right now. Thank you.
Yeah, since I've made my first Temu purchase, I'm getting shit from them now. And, you're eligible for 4 free gifts and da 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 da. Well, those 4 free gifts end up costing you $68, but
Yeah. Do you have to dip that into the bubble stuff, or does it feed it?
It feeds it. I think you pour it in. Yeah, it's got a reservoir. You just pour it in.
All right. I have to find one like that. So anyway, finally get all of that, like all the fun outside. So Rachel and Harper, Lincoln, and I are in the backyard playing, walking around, being goofy. And Rachel's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get the last little bit of stuff out of the car." I'm like, sounds good. I'm good. Well, the sun starts going down. Like, I've been cold all day. She comes to the back door and she's like, "Hey, everything okay?" I was like, "No, I'm done. Like, I've been cold all day. I'm still cold now. We're going inside." Like, I'm all for playing outside, but I'm done. Yeah. And I also looked at my watch and I was like, it's 7:15. Like, let's start wrapping this shit up, getting these kids to bed so I can go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can go stand in a nice hot shower and get my core temperature back up.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I was thrown off track with the bubble gun.
Yeah, just that fast. Now we were discussing the flotation ice fishing suits.
Oh, yeah. I have absolutely no desire to be cold ever.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the retrieving the kiteboard from the bay behind Assateague?
No.
In the springtime. So there was an ER doc here by the name of Dan Carlin, and Dan and I got to be good friends, and he built a house at South Point directly on the bay, and he was kind of, an outdoorsy dude. And he called me one afternoon. He said, "Hey, man," one afternoon, he said, "Hey, man, yesterday, you remember that thunderstorm that rolled in late afternoon?" I said, "Yeah, man, it got wicked really quick." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I was out on my kiteboard and I had to abandon it and swim to shore and all this shit." And he said, I have an idea of where it is. I don't know, but can you bring your boat to South Point and we go look for it?" I said, "Yeah, man, not a problem at all."
Yeah.
Beautiful afternoon. Beautiful. So instead of taking my big boat, I took my little boat. I had a little 14-foot aluminum bottom, John boat with a little 9.9 horsepower Johnson on the back. And we set out, and it wasn't long. We found it. It was in the weed bed off of Egan Island. So I tie it on. We're heading back towards his house, and the same fucking thing happened. A storm kicked up. And it got nasty really, really fast, to the point that Dan has got a bucket hat on and he's bailing in the front of the boat, and I've got my piss bucket and I'm bailing from the back of the boat and taking water over the bow. We're doing all kinds of shit, and I ended up having to use the islands that are behind Assateague Island to block the wind and tack across. And I beached the boat basically at Dan's property and pulled it up. I said, "Fuck it, I'll get it later. Ain't no big deal." But we were both hypothermic.
Yeah.
And we get into Dan's house and we're drinking hot tap water pretty much as fast as we can go. Yeah. Not one of the wisest decisions that I've ever made, especially when I've got an 18-foot high side, wide stern John boat sitting right next to this one in the yard. Damn, if I just got the bigger boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. It's like when we were talking about hunting and all that kind of stuff. Like, I went out and bought whatever was the most heavily weighted coat, bibs, pants, insulated pants to wear inside the insulated bibs.
Yes.
With my insulated boots. Like, I was not going to be fucking cold. That's for damn sure. So
yeah, you want to ruin a hunt real quick, get cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. I also didn't get up at like the butt crack of dawn to be out there when it was cold. I went in the afternoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I stacked the deck.
We have preferences now that we have some maturity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm sorry. Again, we're all over the place. Back to the prime rib. What kind of seasoning do you put on yours?
Salt, pepper.
Okay. No rosemary. I know rosemary is big on prime rib.
Yeah. But that stuff, did we do rosemary with the?
I mean, we've done rosemary.
Yeah. Well, I did it with the big slabs that I got this last go around when I vacuum sealed them, wet aged them, or whatever you want to call it, dry aged them. And then, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did it then. I'm trying to think with the fried. I don't remember. That's something that Dale can chime in on.
Yeah.
Because I don't specifically. I wasn't in charge of the meat that day.
Yeah, I do. In the compound butter, it's sage, thyme, and rosemary, and garlic, and then.
And she was fun, but
right.
Took a second.
Yeah, well, it took you longer because I made the same comment earlier.
Well, that's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Was your guy? It took me a second to process.
Yeah, it's taken both of us a second to come back around full circle on that. But I know rosemary is a big deal is in a greater quantity in the Traeger prime rib rub. So
yes.
Yeah,
and I'm still approving people for the group that Noah has invited.
Oh yeah, I
did a couple more.
Every so often, like I'll look and there'll be more. So I also found the bubble gun. So
nice.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. I have video somewhere of Sophie running around outside, chasing us with it. It's hysterical.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, question: if you want to use, how often do you use like two different rubs on a cook?
It is. I'm not going to say it's rare, but it's Cooper. Stop. So it's. I'm careful when I do it.
Yeah.
Now I know, like we talked about Holy Voodoo before, and the Texas Sugar before.
Yep.
I know that they work well together.
Yep.
So, piece of cake, easy enough, but I'm cautious when I do it.
Yeah. I got a pork butt on now, and I did a Thai barbecue from Kinder's, whatever. And then I added like a cherry rub that I had found, like for pork. And I mix those. It'll turn out all right. And if it doesn't, like when I reseason it, I'll go one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, as opposed to, like, you see people that use multiple rubs on their cooks. They'll season it once with the one, and then they'll come back and season it again with the second. And that's what I did. And I was like, that seems kind of inefficient, right? Like you put a good base down of whatever goes first, and then you put the second one on top of it. Like if I know that I'm going to use two, why wouldn't I put it in a bowl, mix it, and then apply it? Like I think you'll end up with a better coat. So I just didn't know what your, like when you did two like that, like when you do the Holy Voodoo and the Texas Sugar.
Yeah.
Like are you
I did not mix them. Yeah, I shake one, shook the other one. But what you're saying makes total sense, because if we go back to our pulled pork episode when we talked about binding, using a binder, you have a distinct layer. You know, every time you do it. Well, they're not combining the flavors. So, just my quick thought process here: you're better off mixing it. That way, you're creating that one uniform layer of flavor. So that makes complete and total sense.
And you get more consistency.
Yes. Oh yeah.
As you're going across it with each one, like the ratio may not be. Again, it's a big piece of meat, so that way when it's all said and done, you're gonna re-season it and give it the flavor that you're looking for.
Yeah.
But like somebody gets like has some of that bark when they go to try it, like that's not going to be consistent throughout. So yeah. Just curious. Like I said, it just happened today, and I wanted to do that. Did I send you the Greek pulled pork?
Yeah, I believe you did. Yes. Yes, you did. I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but I just didn't have it in me last night to marinate the pork shoulder or the pork butt to do it today. But that's going to be fire. That's that's going to slap. Not to be confused with slaps.
Right, which is apparently a sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to do a pork butt. And again, we talked about the abyss of the fucking freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went the other day to try to unfuck the freezer and realized that I've got about 30 pounds of pulled pork in my freezer.
So you're not making any more.
I'm not making any more.
Yeah.
No. In fact, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I need to make this. I need to do this. I need to do nachos. I need to do the tot, the pulled pork tots. I need to do all kinds of shit because I need to start getting rid of it.
Yeah. Yep.
The young lady that does Jennifer's hair is also a friend of mine, and she loves my meat in her mouth. So
you do your hair too?
No, it's way too expensive for me. I'm used to a $12 haircut. I can't pay, the high dollar women that cut my hair.
Yeah.
So we had something going on, and I told this girl, I said, hey, I sent her a text. I said, don't get Jennifer in there and you two start gossiping like you always do and talking and doing this and doing that. I said, I need her home as soon as possible. She said, if you send your meat with your wife, I won't speak to her. So she got a big bag of Hickman's meat to go in her mouth. And she said, package delivered. Jennifer was home in like half an hour. I mean, it was, I got updated pictures of Jennifer getting her hair done. And next thing getting her hair washed. And next I know Jennifer's coming through the door. And I said, perfect.
Yeah. Poor Jennifer's like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, why? Like, can we have a little conversation? And this lady's just going to town.
Yep. Nope.
Hit the bricks.
Yep. I got your husband's meat. Nope. We're good. Oh my God.
Poor Jennifer.
I said, well, I knew if I had known that, 2 years ago, I'd have sent fucking meat every time.
Yeah, right.
God bless America.
Now you know.
And this girl, I said, look, do you want a whole pork butt? I'll cook you a whole pork butt. And she said, nope, because I won't do anything with it. It will just sit.
Go back.
I just want to taste. So you just want the tip.
Yeah.
Just the tip. Perfect. Got you covered.
Just the money muscle.
That's bam, like that. Yeah. So apparently hairdressers can be bribed with Hickman's meat.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
Straight off the fucking rails.
Yep. And that's where we're going to wrap this show up. So thanks for watching. Dale, like I said, remind me when this show comes out, and I'll post that video of this new technique or different technique for cooking the prime rib so we can share that with everybody. But thanks for watching. If you guys have a tip, trick, something like that you've learned and you've tried and it works, let us know so we can get that on here. Again, it's all about sharing it. Share the Facebook group. That thing is taking off.
The link is down below.
Yep.
Join the group.
Yep.
And share to the group.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's so much potential now with all the folks coming in. It's really going to be awesome. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again for joining. Thanks again for being a part of it. And we'll see you next time.